Welcome back to this shit. Welcome back. So today, I woke up, right? And I've been doing this shit for school, and I realized that I don't need to do much today. It's only 4 questions, right? And I'm sort of like already answering one of them. And I could split the work that I have to do today in half and finish the other half tomorrow. So I don't need to struggle today. Not struggle, but I don't need to push myself right anymore. You know, I don't need to do much. And I have like way more of the day to do shit. So I was thinking that I want to disappear today. You know, today's that day that, you know, it's just in your body that you're literally, hold on, that you're literally fucking, you just want to go. And I'm thinking the device that I should leave on should be a Honda CRF Rally. You know what I'm saying? Like that. And leaving a dirt bike out of here. With ABS. With ABS. It's $5,000. That's what I should leave on. And put slicks on it too. Like you notice that have like, you know, dirt bikes have like threaded tires. Nah, we leave with slicks out of here. We leave with fucking slicks. And if possible, keep the thread. Not the rim and the tire, just keep the tire itself. And just put it in the back. Tie it to some pannier and shit. So I had a pretty crazy idea. Alright, we're going to select the ABS one. Colors. What colors do we have? That's only red. What accessories? Alright. So we add a top case mount. Alright, so see the rear carrier support. They sell rear carrier support for the bike. What's the top case for the rear pannier? But the thing is, you know, imagine me in a rally bike, right? How many pounds can you hold on that? Well, let's just do LBS. A Honda. So you know, like if I got a Honda dirt bike, my guy, I'm out of here. I mean, I would lose a lot of the computing power from having a computer with tons of RAM, meaning I would need to get a new laptop so that I could work similarly as fast as I'm working now. But look at that. Dual pannier on it. See that shit? It grabs on both ways. And then from this one, from that 21, from that rear carrier support, you put a pannier, so you put 2 bags behind the dirt bike. And then the top could be like a 2-gallon gas tank. You could just innovate and make a dirt bike, a tiny little dirt bike. I was just dreaming because I would just want to go. You know, my brain's like, dude, we got infinite money. You just buy a brand new dirt bike today, go in there and swipe it. Just like this now. Swear to God. Swear to fucking God, and go in there right now and be like, oh yeah, fucking brand new dirt bike. How much is it cash with ABS? 5,500. With cash, maybe like close to 6,000. that. No fucking monthly fee, nothing. It just like the shit. That looking for just a toy and shit. It's just like, yeah, boy toy now. And all the things that in the past I've already investigated that I would like to put on it. I would like to this 21. Hold on, let me check the summary. All right, 286 cc, so it's gonna be pretty nice. All the things, there are no offers in this area. So, all right, so let's say I get that bicycle or a CRF rally. So you get the CRF rally, you get it at Honda, and the first thing you're gonna do is that you're gonna fucking modify it because you're stupid as hell, and you're gonna make it clutchless, right? This is the first step. You're gonna get carried away here. Carried away with my knowledge on what I would like on the bike. So 286 cc. No, I could likely be a prospect for a motorcycle club, like in a gang and shit. But I would need a Harley to be one of the groups. But I'd likely be a prospect way back there. I just go with them places, way back of the pack or whatever. Without the bike, I would need a bike to be be one of them. But I take this bike, and the first thing I do is update the clutch assembly. Immediately, the first thing I would do is move the clutch into a small clutch, meaning instead of being rear brake at the foot, front brake at the right hand, and then clutch at the left hand. Clutch at the left hand, it's going to be completely modified. Clutch at the left hand would turn to be front brake. Right? Front brake. This is front brake. This is rear brake. So you would make a set. You would pump the rear ABS disc juice with the right hand. You got left brake, right brake, and this thumb would be my clutch, right here. This would be clutch right here, right next to the signals or whatever. Signals could be either left thumb or right thumb. Well, my actual clutch for the entire bike, if I ever were to need the clutch assembly after installing an auto clutch or auto shifter, would be here, just in case I need it, which I wouldn't need it, because after you take a brand new bicycle and you put an aftermarket part on it, you don't only you already, Honda already knows you're going to sort of modify the bike. So it depends if you're going to, depending on the place, they might void your warranty, they might not void it, because it's just it's a tiny little bike. It's not gonna it's not like it's going to be $3,000 to fix or whatever. So you change the clutch, right? Change the clutch. You put the actual clutch in your thumb. You know how you shift in a bike, regular bike. You just shift a shifter with your thumb, like that, like you're riding the bicycle. You're holding on handlebars, and you're moving like this to fuck with your clutch, or maybe even two tiny fingers, like a tiny little. It could be. There's a couple of them that could be used as a clutch, and there's some of them have like a thumb clutch. Some of them have like a two-finger clutch that go inside the brake area. Like the brake area. You got the handlebar, you got the brake. You could put a tiny little lever for the clutch that's smaller and goes right between right in between the distance of the brake. You could just another left-hand lever for the clutch, plain and simple. That's the first thing, putting the auto clutch in that shit, because it makes it beautiful. Right there with that, you turned it to CVT. Basically you update a dirt bike 826, and now you are not going to have fucking clutch wear. You're not going to have the grind. You're not going to have any grinding, but you're not going to really be using clutch plate to move around. You don't need it. It's going to be automatic. It's going to be CVT or CVT band. CVT band is basically a clutch assembly that looks like a big rubber. When you're looking at CVT or an automatic sprinter bike, tiny little ones that you sit down on, the clutch is like a top, like a trompo. That's fatter and thinner as you get into higher speed, which basically needs no shifting, just gas. And the higher the RPMs, the gear starts moving forward. Not the gear, but the little plastic band that's in there, or the belt that's in there, starts moving the gear to a higher torque, not to less torque and higher RPM. But with a Spider modification or Spider clutch assembly, which that's the correct name, Spider automatic clutch. Recluse, or it could be a Spider or a Recluse brand clutch. And take Honda right here. Where the fuck is it? Honda model CRF 250. Wait, which one is it? Which one am I looking at? CRF 300L. Either one of them are gonna fit. All right, Africa Twin. Either one of them are gonna fit. It's something doesn't matter. It's a part that's gonna go. Depending on the CC, it's gonna be the same clutch assembly, because it's not that clutch assembly is not going to be, how do you call it, a standard part. I already checked, and you basically just, if it fits, it goes in there. So, what does it have? What are the benefits of an auto clutch in a dirt bike? $700, so you're already moving from $6,000 to $7,000. So that's one of the most important things. Clutch pack provides longer clutch life with less adjustment over time, meaning you don't even need to shift. Standard clutch lever function, full overdrive, meaning you can still use the clutch if you need to, but it's just gas. Like that, just gas. You bought a manual bike, a dirt bike isn't a manual bike. You bought a dirt bike and now it's fucking manual. There's just nothing else to do but that shit. But do gas and shift up and shift down. So yeah, that's the first aftermarket part that goes in that shit. The second aftermarket part is related to the pedals, to the pedals, and it's technically removing the brake from the heel, or completely omitting the brake from the heel, and adding maybe splitting the pressure, the brake fluid line into your hands. Meaning you could maybe have two brakes that do the rear cylinder, not one. You just need to throw the line the same way you would throw a clutch master. The same way you would throw a clutch master, like a line, a plastic line or a metal line, so that you have another brake. All you're looking for is having two brakes in both hands. Meaning same where the gas is, right? Where the gas is on your dirt bike, right there you let go of the gas and you press brake right here. That's it. So you got the rear brake, the front brake. $700. We're at $7,000 right now, give or take, plus installation. That takes a little bit, and obviously it would be Honda that you'd be giving, just to fuck with them. Be like, yeah, I'm gonna avoid the warranty. But you guys install this shit, thank you, and you walk away. It's like, yeah, I got this shit, and the guy, the people who deal with them bikes and be like, all right, fuck it. You just gotta pay for it. They're not gonna be like, oh, it's gonna void your warranty, don't do it. They're gonna be the other way around. They're gonna be like, what else you got for it? They're gonna be like, put it in. So you take that. That's the clutch pack. the EXP auto clutch disc. You just don't need fucking using the clutch anymore on it, just shifting. Okay, so after that you get the pannier. There's $700 right there. $700 with the auto. That's all. That's basically the startup shit. That's when you start like intensifying the detail. So these are all the things that I researched in the past because I want to disappear. I want to get the fuck out of here. Although I am kind of afraid of sitting on the bike and going up hills. It's something that not most people could, get accustomed to when you're going up hills. Because remember, you're sitting in a really how do you call it, high triangular base. And when you start going up, if the bike doesn't support your spine, it gets really crazy. It starts feeling pretty weird as you're pressing the gas, moving up a hill. You're sitting there, you think you're gonna slide off that shit. And I usually, if it gets too steep, just look for another route. Just turn around and go somewhere else. Like, fuck that shit, I'm not going up that shit because it's just too steep. So, after you got the auto clutch pack, you get the pannier, or you look for a bag, an aftermarket outside bag, so that you could clamp shit on. And obviously recognizing that the exhaust is going to be there, so you're mostly trying to balance everything out, recognizing that some contents of the bag or that area in particular is going to get pretty hot because that's one side is going to be in the exhaust. Isn't a Honda bike isn't going? That particular Honda bike doesn't have the exhaust in the center, so you can't really take advantage of good contents left and right. So right there, you start adding the good aftermarket shit. You start putting like a windshield on it, not like all the way out like that. Now you put a really high windshield on it. You put the pannier. You get a roto packs. You get 2 roto packs mounts. I don't know if you guys are familiar with roto packs, but roto packs are basically jugs that you could clamp onto vehicles with either water or gasoline and shit. So you clamp maybe you clamp maybe with 1 or 2 gallons, and they're expensive. The mount is $30-$40, but the gallons are $60. So you take that and you put 2 gallons of gasoline, or maybe even 4 gallons of gasoline inside that on that dirt bike at all times. And then you start feeling comfortable. It's kind of heavy for a dirt bike. It's gonna start. Your purpose of having a dirt bike starts. You're starting to put the bike under pressure. You're not gonna go too fast, but you're gonna go faster than a how do you call it? You're gonna go faster than the little tiny ones that sometimes kids use on the street, but you're not going to go. But you still sort of, if the bike was empty, hit a highway speed and drive it on drive a small bike on the highway. Depending on the situation, you could probably put it on the interstate, and you would likely be driving it really close to the shoulder line because it's a bike that struggles to get to 80 miles an hour. But it isn't something that you go really fast, which is the cool shit about it. It's something that's just local. Not local, but you could freaking take it for a long fucking time. Especially with 4 gallons of gas. The shit carries maybe 1.5 gallon. Maybe 1.25 gallons or less. Like 1.2 gallons, 1.3 gallons to go like 600 miles. You understand what I'm saying? Like, it's 600 miles to the gallon on that shit. 600, 700 miles to the gallon on that shit easily. Especially if you put it in neutral and do certain things with it, And you put in 4 gallons of gas in it. So think how far that motherfucker is gonna go. You stop there, you fill that shit, and you're only filling up a gallon. A gallon. You only have 4 gallons. You only have less than $20 of gas on the bike. Less than 20 on the gas at $3 a pop, $3.50 a pop, maybe $4 a gallon. And you're midway across the country with like $40. However, you're not going through the interstate. You got to go local, but it starts getting fun as shit. As long as you stay within the rules, have a helmet that everyone sees, have like pants, have boots. You're kind of chilling in that shit. Chilling, cop looks at you. You even have like a reflection band on. It looks well taken care of. Police are gonna look at you and be like, "Keep this lucky motherfucker." They're gonna be like, this guy's having fun in that shit. This guy's headed somewhere, and he's having a lot of fun with that brand new dirt bike. So we got the pannier, right? Pannier, Rotopax, and the gasoline. And you can probably put another pannier in the front. My backpack would probably be in the front. After that, you get an iPad mount, right? An iPad, maybe a single USB cord. iPad mount. We're talking about putting this iPad in the center console. Right there. The dash is right here of that tiny little dirt bike. You take this right here and you put it right there. Right there in front of you. Right there. Right here. And you're sitting there driving and it's connected to Wi-Fi on your cell phone or whatever. Or maybe it's the GPS, iPad or whatever, connected to electricity, and then you have your GPS. So you have a huge screen. A screen like this, 11-inch, in the middle of your dirt bike. Like that, like right there. And it has to be a good clamp too. It can't be a bullshit. It can't be a bullshit clamp. It gotta be a clamp with screws and shit. And I've seen it. Alright, iPad mount for dirt bike. There we go. See that? Ram quick mounts. With brackets. Revzilla. Tablet mount right here. You got a tablet mount, and you make sure that it's a bolt-on. You make sure that you're bolting on obviously the handlebar, right? You're bolting onto the handlebar with a hex key real strong, and you're bolting on the iPad so it doesn't go anywhere. You're bolting it on. You're making it. If you want to take off the iPad, you have to do some type of fucking, screw on, screw off type shit if you want to take it out and put it in your bag and take it place. And take it somewhere. Alright. And that's already $70, so we're like $7,000, close to 10. But that's only for like the cell phone. The cell phone is bullshit. I don't want a little tiny cell phone mount in my shit. Not a cell phone mount. Phone mount, not camera mount. I want an iPad mount. A long one. A big, You just put it in there and you put it nice and close. In front of it would likely be the gas tank. And you got the iPad on your nuts at all times, highly illuminated, telling you where to go. Or, already, if it has GPS, already telling you where the fuck you're going. That's $70, so $7,000. Additional, then come the additional aftermarket parts inside. All the things that I would carry on my body, because in my body I would carry a lot of expensive shit. I'm someone that's extremely expert in living outside, but I mean extremely expert. I don't smell like smoke, I don't make fires, but the way that I do it, it's extremely specialized. I'm carrying a lot of electronic equipment all the time. So, first things first, the sock for the gas tank. You need a sock for your gas tank. Gas tank, sock, dirt bike. Why do you need a field sock? Because dirt bikes have injector problems over time. The crud when people fucking go in and out with the pistoco, the gasoline pistoco, in and out from the gas station and put it in the socket, people be taking the fucking pistoco and put it in their mouth, scratching their neck with it, using it to scratch their balls, letting that shit drop. And then things that shouldn't be in your gas end up in your gas or in the tank, which is where it starts becoming a problem to the tiny engine and the tiny injector. Because you're looking at a fucking dirt bike, you're looking at a single point of gasoline, a single injector, fueling 2 cylinders, a tiny little fucking needle thin small repair job that maybe costs $7,000, or maybe costs less. Maybe it's like $1,000 to repair. The guy has to take apart the whole fucking fuel injector assembly and clean the entire motherfucking dirt bike because the gas that you put in it was trash. Not the gas that you put in it was trash, but over time, the gunk and bullshit that comes from people using the fucking gas knob or the gas pistoco to scratch the nuts, let that shit drop, force themselves in the motherfucking, force the fucking gas gun in their car. Basically, putting it back where the fucking gas shit goes. Particles of crud and shit starts accumulating in them pistocos. So you need an additional layer of protection, and it starts by starting to protect the fuel injector. And there's multiple ways you can protect your fucking fuel injector. You can protect your fuel injector with a gas tank sock, which is one of the first things that I would get. A second thing that you would get would be to cut the fuel line and put a fuel filter before the injector, which is another aftermarket fucking part. You take the fucking fuel line and you cut it and you put it and you put like this tiny little, I'm pretty sure if you guys know about this, seen a little tiny filter that's like, it has a little reservoir, it has a filter, and it's like a two nipple sided tiny thing like this that you could see the gas. So you take that, you cut that, obviously you tell Honda to do that shit for you. Take that shit, you cut the gas line, you put that filter there on both ways, and you have the sock filter on the top. So those are 2 ways you're protecting your injector right there. Right there, you're protecting the shit from the gas to enter the single point of entry inside the whole fucking 250cc. And if that shit clogs up, your shit's gonna stall. It's not gonna have much fucking power. It's just gonna be bullshit. It's gonna be bad. So those 2 things. There's a lot of crap pumped in at the fucking gas tanks coming into your shit. A lot of shit. Like I said, people scratching their nuts with the fucking, fucking scratching their ass with the gas fucking pumping shit. Just like, yeah, take this shit. Scraping it across the head, dandruff in that motherfucker, the plastic from forcing it in the plastic from forcing it back into the gas pump, the crud, the leaves, the bullshit that's stuck on the actual, this is the thing that you put gas in your car. That thing, that little tip right there gets filthy. The scratches from, putting it back on the gas place, the scratches and the dirt and the shit from putting it inside each car or whatever starts building up materials that end up inside cars. For cars, you don't have a problem with a blocked injector because you got fucking 8 of them. And the PSI is totally different in a car. You understand what I'm saying? Like a fuel injection or the old school rain type injectors that are inside vehicles. That shit ain't gonna do anything to it. It's a lot of pressure. A car built up a lot of pressure before putting gas in the cylinder. In a motorcycle, we're talking about small amounts of PSI that do that work. And that small amount of PSI can't stand a little tiny grain of sand, a little smudge, a little booger inside that shit. A little booger inside that shit that's a bit too hard, it's going to clog up your injector. And those are the things people like me would like to minimize if I were to get a dirt bike. So you get a fuel sock, and you get an external fuel filter. It's just some bullshit. Just typical. It's just the things most people wouldn't want to get that look stupid have a purpose. You take that and that. And then after that, this is the final. We're getting close to the final things I would put on the bike. I wouldn't deal with the gears. I would definitely put slicks on it. But the thing with slicks and with actual dirt bike is the radius of the wheel, because most of these dirt bikes aren't street ready, or some of them aren't street legal, but they aren't ready because the diameters of the rim are sort of different, and they're all different in most bikes. But I would like to equalize the diameter of my dirt bike. I wouldn't like the small wheel at the rear and the big, because I'm not going off road on it. I mean, I might go off road on it, just to maybe sleep or go rural, which is basically when you start cheating time. If you really trying to go across the country, the interstate is bullshit. Interstate is, you're never gonna catch someone. I mean, you could catch them eventually. You will. Those people will catch you on the interstate in terms of speed from getting from point A to point B, but nothing beats getting into some yard or getting into some into some, how do you call it, park path or whatever, or some small rural zone that connects to another road. Just, mobility. It isn't a fucking car. It's a tiny little almost a motorized bicycle or whatever. That if you don't get caught and if the bike is new, that shit don't make sound. You're not sitting there fucking gassing shit. If you're nice and quiet, you might be able to move that shit around parks and between. You don't need to use roads. If you are trying to follow a road and there's a park in between and there's a path in the park, you could easily get on that shit and continue on your way without much issue. And it's quiet. Obviously, it's a new bike. You're not modifying the exhaust. You're not doing anything. You're simply just moving through that motherfucker, putting the shit out of the park, and you're out of the way, headed somewhere else. So after that, where were we? Fuel filters, the rim. So I would need to look for a rim. I need a new rim, or maybe swapping both rims. That's Honda's case. Like, I want similar radius on both sides. I don't need some enduro or dirt bike. I need something that's a little bit more comfortable on the ride. Comfortable and same diameter, so I don't need to be getting. So that I only need to be getting, because the main difference in rear and front is the thickness of the rear wheel. The rear wheel in dirt bikes is thicker and smaller. So I just want to deal with the thicker. I don't want to be dealing with different diameters. So that I could get a pair of tires that match the shit, only worrying about the thickness, not about the radius. Makes it easier for me to find future tires for it. So that's one of the things. You gotta fucking get a new rim for the rear, or just a new set of rims for it. Now it's starting to look completely fucking modified. That now right there, different rims. It looks like a really stable bike. It doesn't look like a dirt bike anymore. The dirt bike from like this on the pavement looks like this now. Maybe even lean forward a little bit, or maybe even just straight like this, because of the wheel. And you could tell, based on the fork or whatever, you could either tell it that it's like this or like this, and then as you start driving it, it's sort of like flatter as compared to the angle that it's normally at when you buy one on the street. When you buy one and it's stopped. So the rim, the wheels, slicks for it. Maybe literally carry the other tires on me. So I would carry 2 tires. I would look crazy as shit just with the outer rim on it. What the heck are you gonna do with that rim? I don't know. Just have it there, or maybe even put take the second pair. Take the second pair of threaded bike, not the slick type, and just carry it on me. Put it somewhere in the bike. I don't know where the fuck I'm gonna put it, but make sure in that tiny little bike I have the threaded tire with me. After that, I think it's fully modified. I don't need anything else. All the things that I mentioned on this video, would probably be a pretty decent bike, and it shouldn't be $12,000. It should be close to 10 with installation and everything ready to go for you to use it. Then we're gonna take it another level. The second, another level of this bullshit. Still stock. This maybe has just the clutch, different ramps and shit. The same gear train, the same chain, the same length, the same gears. Everything's the same. The final, most important thing for the bike would be getting nuts and bolts that are tamper-proof. I don't know how familiar you are with people taking shit from your bike, but it's something that happens frequently in the bike community. People be taking your shit or dismantling your shit on the road. So you need tamper-proof nuts and bolts. Tamper-proof nuts and bolts. So when you're looking at tamper-proof shit, you're looking at everything that some cocksucker might take from your bike. From the outer plastic, the seat, the handlebars, the actual handlebar, the rear view mirrors, anything that's on the bike that this cocksucker might take, you need to change the nuts on it. You need to change the nuts and the bolts for it. Meaning, you need a tamper resistant shit. You need to, how the Subway has like, if you notice the nuts and bolts inside a Subway are, nobody could just take a fucking screwdriver and screw some shit on, or on a bus or any public system or type shit. Anywhere, society and companies and organizations, anywhere they tamper-proof shit where there's a lot of traffic, where there's a lot of people. This bike isn't going to be a garage-kept bike. This bike is likely going to have like a chain that you are going to tie somewhere, maybe like the front strut. The front strut somewhere when you park it or whatever, like a bike. You tie it to the pole. You make sure that you're tying it somewhere, and everything has a key so that when you're stopping places, nobody can get in your shit. An additional layer of protection for your shit, including the plastic, including the aftermarket shit that you put in it, require tamper-proof shit. So you need a special screwdriver, either a special screwdriver, a special hex nut, a special wrench. You just need to tamper-proof shit so that no cocksucker can come with a regular flathead or a regular Phillips screw, or a regular flathead to take your shit out there. So you have to look, you have to look specifically. You have to look specifically to which nuts and bolts you want. If they need nylon for vibration proof, figure out what do you need. You have to go to Home Depot and do this shit. You gotta figure out which ones do you need, so you start tamper proofing the most basic shit of the bike, the body. So you take the body, right? You take the body of the bike and you start tamper proofing the body, or the plastic that surrounds the bike. You understand what I'm saying? Like the bicycle on the frame has a plastic per se to cover the components so that you sit on it. Another thing that'd be good on it to put would be a seat. A seat in the backrest would be cool for a dirt bike. Tiny little, you could tie shit to the backrest, even if it's tiny. You could just sort of lean back there and make the little saddle seat nice and gummy, nice and soft. On a really reliable bike, this bike's gonna last you until you die if you take care of it. Until you die. Honda does not die. Honda ATVs turn on in Alaska. 30 years later, they're still fucking cranking up. They're still fucking moving. ATV4 with Honda, it's something that you're gonna give it 250,000 miles of use and shit well taken care of. Especially if you're bringing it to people that take care of it for you. And cleaning it for you and doing all this shit. And if it's going to be only on the road and you're going to be driving it like a bicycle or like a granny, you're going to be able to go cross country with it. Fucking Panama Canal, Mexico with it. Everywhere with it. Everywhere. Stand there, passport, where you going? I don't know. I'm going fucking down to Mexico. Peace out. See you later, boy. Go in that motherfucker. And you're leaving and you're, you're exploring. You're going places with it. So you need tamper-proof, tamper-resistant shit, and you obviously need to carry the tools that require to remove this tamper-proof shit. Because if you don't have the tools that help you disassemble your own bike, you're fucked. So tamper-proof would be the final end step, so that anything that a cocksucker could take with a flathead or a Phillips screw requires special tools. Meaning, the second the guy wants to fuck with your fuel filter because he likes it, because it's nice and shiny, and he wants a fuel filter too, he realizes that when he takes with his hand the nut of, when he looks at the filter and both extremes of the fuel line, it has tamper-proof shit. The person won't be able to just utilize regular, ordinary tools and remove the fuel filter from the bike because he like it. He wouldn't be able to remove one of the how do you call it? Any of the levers, either brake or clutch, any of the levers. He wouldn't remove anything on the handlebar. He wouldn't be able to remove the handlebar. He wouldn't be able to remove the iPhone or the iPad mount. He wouldn't, you select specific shit. He wouldn't be able to remove the body of your bike or the front splash guard or whatever. Not splash, call it splash guard. Front fender, the round shit so that water doesn't get your face when you're driving it. He wouldn't be able to take specific shit because you took you took extreme care or extreme precision to go looking for anti-theft fucking shit. Anti-theft precision, nuts, bolts, hex screws, and all this shit with the specific tools so that it's so basic. $40 could save you from seeing your bike hurt or seeing your bike being disassembled by cocksuckers in the street. Just start $40. Big difference, huge difference before someone goes, I got tools in my car. Let's steal this cocksucker. Let's steal this cocksucker's this shit. I'm gonna steal this from this guy right now, real quick. And they approach, they do it. They see it. They want the chromed out or the tempered steel, nice colored. Things might look nice to them. They attack the shit, try to see the shit that they want, and they realize that they don't have tools for it. And that's the best feeling of the world. That's the best feeling right there. For a fact that over time, you start grabbing tamper-resistant, you start utilizing tamper-resistant shit, and without the proper screwdriver or without the proper tools, they can't disassemble shit on the run, or they can't fuck with it in the street. It's not a hex anymore, Most of them fucking bike thieves or whatever would see a hex. Like, I can fucking approach this cocksucker with this hex and take everything that I want from this bike. With this hex. They might have a hex in their pocket, a hex key, a 5-sided hex key, and maybe 2 of them to just try to take shit or disassemble or fuck with your bike. And once they get there with the hex key in their pocket and they get real close and they start examining the dirt bike, they're like, yeah, I can't fuck with that shit. They just get close and they get close with the tool, about to attack the bike in a couple seconds, how these cocksuckers would operate. Surgical style thieves that want your shit, want specific shit from your bike. They get there and they look and they can't even fuck with it. Like that. Just they stop right there, like, nah, let's get the fuck out of here. We can't even take that shit from that guy right there. Like, nah, not taking it. It's like, no, fuck this bike. And then they see the body, if they're really, if it's something that the bike has to stay out for a significant amount of time, because most of the time it could probably be right next to me. They're probably somewhere that I know it's going to be safe for a long time, tied up with a chain somewhere or some shit like that. The person looks at it, examines it, notice that the body itself is fucking tight as hell with tamper nut. Has tamper nuts all over the place. Like, oh shit, look at this shit. They come with the handy dandy hex key to take shit from my bike, or just to strip my shit right there on the spot. And they approach the shit with the tools that they thought they used, and they see that the body's tamper proof. they immediately recognize that the plastic that surrounds the body itself, if they want a piece of the body to steal or whatever to remove from the body, they can't even they can't get it off. You won't be able to get that shit off. You need the proper equipment to get that shit off. Yeah, you need proper screwdriver, you need the right things to unscrew this shit off. And that's the shit that the mechanic would use. Be like, oh yeah, all this tamper nut shit uses this shit. You know? No, you got and you give them all the tools that you need, that you use to protect your stuff. Because a bike isn't a car. You can't keep shit in your car. And in terms of the malicious shit that people could do in cars, it's basically the stock way you, how do you call it? Certain things are exposed in a vehicle, and it's the way it's the way that you can manufacture certain parts to make it a little bit more difficult on people. Let's say in a vehicle, if you want to stop people from tampering with your brakes, your brake lines must be a little bit closer to the your car must be dropped. That's the one. That's the first fucking thing. You must drop your car. You must have springs or shock. You must lower your car, not stock, or have bags on it. You know, bags would be an expressive way of doing it, but you would need to drop your car at least 4 or 5 inches from the sacrificing some parts and try to machine shop the copper wire. Not the copper wire, but the copper piping that makes brakes to sort of hide a little bit, to be less noticeable. Meaning, usually you take a copper pipe from the clutch master cylinder or whatever, and that shit has 2-sided pipes everywhere, headed to each brake. If it's ABS, headed to each fucking disc, and the master cylinder where the fluids are in the motor or whatever. So as the person is making the joint from that master brake sauce or whatever, the pipe where that copper pipe where that brake line comes from, to and from the brake, the guy has to bend it in a particular fashion that it's less noticeable. Instead of being out in like an L shape facing everyone so that everyone can see that that's where they need to cut the brake line. If they want to cut the brakes and make the car leak brake fluid, you have to sort of develop it in another way, that it's hidden, that it's less noticeable, that forces the person to not enter the vehicle and attack it, to cut the brake line maybe from behind the hand or from inside the wheel well, or maybe through the bottom. You drop the car. You basically design around you think about what the person is going to do, and you machine shop it in a different way. And you could add different shit. And you could there's aftermarket parts, and you could add braided rubber line to your brakes. Especially you have like Brembo expensive disc brakes. You can add braided rubber line to your brakes. You could do a bunch of shit so that nobody could just grab a regular wrench or whatever and just cut your brakes. You could make it real hard on them. Just get steel and that shit. You could do, instead of using copper, you could use steel. You could do all types of shit right there just to stop people from fucking with specific shit. And that's the attitude that you need with thieves out there. Because when you come from a third world country, when you dealt a lot, the primary reasons I don't drive, and I'm 36, are because of that malice. Are because there's people that are fixated on what you own, looking to take your shit, looking to bring you down, looking to utilize you for what they need. And if they don't want you to have a car because you're going to move up, you're like their target. You're literally their target. And in life, that's what I learned, to take a little bit of my time to spend a couple dollars, and all you need to do is just spend a couple dollars spend a couple dollars and learn and recognize what you need to do so that they can't fuck with Torx nuts, or they can't fuck with you take that dirt bike, my guy, and you change all the nuts and bolts that someone else might take with anything that they might own, like that. Any tool that you think anyone might own, you go out there and you find special hardware and equipment that only the people that spent $200 are gonna have. You know, like the unique shit. And then you use that and you put on your dirt bike. Make sure you don't lose them either. You can't lose the tool. You can't lose the tool, and you got to take care. You got to inspect that what you're utilizing is going to work. Like if you need nylon for vibrations, the stuff a dirt bike company is going to utilize on your bike is going to be really specific. So you got to figure out if what you're going to change or modify on the bike is going to protect it, or it's going to do as intended without vibration making it fall off or some shit like that. But if you do what I told you, you're gonna be fine. Nobody's gonna steal your shit. Nobody's gonna touch anything from it. Anything. They'll look at it. The thief or whoever, they'll notice quickly, immediately. Someone that likes bikes will see that bike and will see that it's fucking tamper-proof. They're gonna be like, oh shit, It's like, I thought, look at this kid. We're gonna rob this kid. Oh no, we can't rob this kid. Oh shit, fuck it. Let's get the fuck out of here. It's like, yeah, well, look at this. We're gonna steal from this tiny little dirt bike everything we need today, and then they approach it, and they're out of luck. It's like the Fort Knox shit. Yeah, Fort Knox, nice and stiff. So yeah, I'm gonna get to writing because I gotta just write one more question. I gotta focus on one more question right here, and I should be done for the day. Now, I wanted to disappear to that bike, man. Imagine it. Imagine that little baby. Get on it. Button start. And you just not even shifting on it, just like, and you're gone. Just like, you didn't even get to shift. Just like, it's gas. It's a dirt bike, bro. You need to just be like, and you're moving on it. No shifting, no fucking revving up and shifting into gears. Nah, and you're moving. Like a CVT drive, like a CVT transmission. A 250 CVT, it's delicious. It's just freaking delicious. And I would get a bigger bike. I'd probably ride a bigger bike or a much heavier shit, but it's just too high up, too short. Dirt bikes are anything past the 250 is for people who are tall and strong. I'm not tall and strong, and I definitely don't like the feeling that you get when you're like on top of a horse. I like to have like control, even though I can make that tiny 250 really heavy with all the shit that I would probably put on it, including my ass and my backpack and all that shit. But I have it on the ground. My feet are on the ground, just like my feet are like right there. My feet are on the ground. 350s. 400, 500s, all these large as fuck dirt bikes, you're sitting there fucking like a 6-year-old kid on it. On top of it. Doesn't feel right, doesn't feel comfortable. Alright, let's focus on this. Haven't eaten breakfast. Let's focus on what we need to do. find something to eat. I'll be right back. Ah, finally. You hate it when soda doesn't make you burp, and then you feel all this pressure in your chest. What the fuck? Oh. See, when you're not trying to let go of the gas comes out easily. See that I burped? I didn't want to burp. I wasn't thinking about burping, but if I'm thinking of burping, the gas stays there. Fuck. One more question. I'm answering the question that finishes what I need to do for today. But yeah, that bike would be amazing. Nice and slow. Imagine how, just think about it. Imagine if it lasts 700 miles full throttle, right? Take that into consideration. Take that into consideration. But let's look at the range. $250-mile range plus 250. So you're looking at 250. You're looking at 250 with the fucking with the gas throttle at the fucking joint, just like this 250, just like if you're sitting here and you're like, it's way longer than 250. Way longer. 600 miles in like a gallon. Easily. 600 miles. $250, 600. Looking at 600, and you're carrying 2 additional full tap. You're carrying 2 entire fill-ups with you. Carrying 600. It's just like, oh, no, wait, where are we? Halfway? Oh, where's the gas at? Oh, halfway? Hold on. That's like after a 5-hour drive. 5-hour drive, halfway. Oh my goodness! Wow, it's not gonna guzzle it. It's not gonna be like 74 miles a gallon, or 50 or 60, miles a gallon that you see the thing move. It's gonna stay at that F for like 100 miles. It's gonna be near F for 100 miles. And you're not going to be going pumping the gas. You're not going to be punching it. I mean, who the heck would punch it? You want to die? Oh. You're cruising down the street on your 6-4. You're standing like, and then leaning, just like a bicycle. In the shoulder, cars driving past you because you have a slow speed. That's how it is. It's a small, slow bike that could be used for many things. And you relax on it. Just like, yeah, let's go. And people forget about you because you're on the road now. Literally, forget you. You wake up, after getting on one of those, you wake up by a grizzly bear is what's going to end up waking you up. In all honesty. A bear is going to wake you up. The second you got that bike, you're just going to go. Live off your backpack. Go to Walmart, eat, get on your bike and keep driving. Oh, you got to sleep? Sleep right there next to your bike. Right there. next to it on the ground, on some parking lot. Have the cop look at you, say, "What you doing?" "I'm sleeping." "How you doing today?" "I'm doing good. Have a good day." "Oh, you too." Your meal, Hormel chili right there, a sandwich. Oh, goodbye. Say goodbye. Like this, you see me with it, with my hair in the wind like this. That's how you would see me on it. Just just. And if possible, my beard like this. Flap it in the wind in one direction. Burnt from the sun. Completely tan. It'd be amazing. It'd be amazing and a half. Amazing and a half. All for $10,000. $10,000. And it has to be specific. I wouldn't just take the bike and leave. Stock. Nah, that's stupid. That's opening it up to get stolen. Theft. You gotta modify it. You gotta modify and void the warranty immediately so that people start not thinking about doing shit to you. You bring it out there brand new, people gonna just be attracted to it. Because it looks stock. Once you start putting panniers on it and it starts looking like someone's house, they'll be like, nah, I ain't touching it. Once you start stacking your belongings on it in different places, book back in the front, frames, panniers, once it starts looking that it's not stock and it's not like out of the dealership, people are gonna be like, "Go back off, this sounds like right there." You can't just take it and stock out there and bring it out like that. No, that's stupid. You gotta make it good. Make it good first, and after you make it good, you go and you wake up next to a bear or something like that. Bear like, "What's up?" And you're like, and the bear's like, "What you doing? What do you want?" Eat your sub, then you're laying on the ground. You get up, get on the bike, and you leave. And that, just shit. It's a bear on you, like, oh shit. Oh, fucking bear's coming. Bear's out now. And you get out of there and you go. All right. I am done for today. See that? Ba, 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 300 words. I didn't do 300. I did 600 words today, and I'm done. Tomorrow, another 600. I'm out of the way. Tomorrow, another 600, and I. So yeah, in all seriousness, I want to disappear. I want to fucking disappear. Get that bike and go places. My God, bro. Imagine all the things you could consume with your eyeballs if you do. Just for spending a significant amount of money, and you're gonna be out in the elements. You know, it's gonna be rained on. But imagine all the vitamin C you would get. So yeah, it'd be amazing. You get a lot of sun. Imagine being at the beach. Imagine, listen to this shit. You know you understand how much of the unexplored coast there is in the United States? It's literally places in America within the East Coast that have not been even stepped on in terms of beaches. Yeah, you know, that's one of the benefits of using instead of using flats or using slick tires on a dirt bike, you use threaded. Because you just prance in that motherfucker, and you're in that shit. The cop stop, lip, boop. Hey, don't go in there. Hey, but I'm going down that way. Oh, are you sure? Yeah. All right, so get out when you get out that way. All right. Just like a little metal horsey. It'd be amazing. Just don't let anyone see you. And then at night, you want to sleep beachside, you want to sleep at the beach, or you're looking for somewhere to sleep, you literally just drive onto the fucking beach with your dirt bike. Just go in that motherfucker. Fuck it. Who the fuck's gonna stop you? In there. Just in there. You're in the beach now. And then you park next to a dune. Lay next to your bike, sit down, stretch some legs, put your backpack on your head, and pass out. Maybe wake up with a cop. What are you doing with the bike? I don't know. I'm just sleeping. Oh, all right. You can't have the bike on the beach. I know. I'll get it out. I'm just sleeping here. All right, bye. Not gonna bother you. Think people gonna bother you because you got a bike at the beach? Nah, they won't bother. Especially if you're if your bike looks like your home, which is the objective. You know, it's just disappearing, going places. It's just disappearing, going places, if you know what I mean. Just going places. And these nut sacks right here is full of rice, by the way. This, see that? It's just rice. I used this old sock with rice in it to heat up in the microwave and put it in my body when it hurts. It's good for sores. So yeah, I think I'm gonna shut down the stream. I don't know what I'm gonna do today. I could play Minecraft. I could fly. I could fly a plane. I could make music. I could drop a new hit. I would try not to get humiliated and get a sound pack that actually works. Technically, just open it and return, just to make sure. Like that. Open it. Open the sound pack. Like, oh shit. Open it. Check for the sound pack. Make sure the sounds are there. And that's it. Go take a shower. Haven't taken a shower in 3 days now. As you could tell, I'm wearing the same shit. Go take a shower. I think the effect of me not taking a shower and not changing is because I wash the clothes. Wash the clothes. I don't want to deal with using more. Just all my clothes is washed. I don't want to touching more clothes, because then I start touching clothes and I start changing into the clothes until my fucking floor is full of clothes again. I gotta wash again. So I'm not doing that. We're not going through that right now. We're not going through that, my guy. I'm not shaving. Alright. Let's change the text on this. So yeah. 2 more questions for tomorrow. I'm sitting here editing. What I usually do in one day, I edit like a monster. I'm sitting here editing because I'm bored. Yeah, we're moving. We're moving. That's good. That's good. That's good. What I wrote today was good. And I was looking at you guys. What I wrote today was good as hell. Exactly what I'm using. I don't know what to do today. I could probably make music. I could play Minecraft. I could fly a plane. I could shower. I could do a bunch of shit. But I don't know what to do. So this is what I'm doing. I'm waking up with a lot of chest pain. A lot of maybe stomach congestion. Maybe it's just that I'm not eating too well. I'm having stomach problems. I'm not eating that much. But in a combination to where they are, this particular device has iodine and water. And you can't see it anymore because it's dissolved in the liquid. If you notice, it's clear. In the morning, when I put 8 drops of iodine in this water, the water was kind of orange. But the iodine was dissolved within the water. So what I do, and I was researching something that sort of maybe possibly protected me from not dying from COVID. This right here, likely in the beginning, protected my lungs from the initial blast of being of the pandemic in general. So bromide iodine thermal waters are what people who have pneumonia are given at the hospital. They're giving a vaporizer that they basically breathe particleized water, and those waters have iodine, bromide, and salt. It's a specific solution that elderly patients with pneumonia get, just to get rid of mucuses and attack with the iodine the bacteria inside the lungs, inside the bronchi, inside the mucosa of the person. However, without an expectorant, which is technically Robitussin, water may stay in your lungs. The humidity might stay there. So when elderly people are given these types of solutions and they just sit them there at the hospital and they put a mask on their face, they not only have a mask on their face and they're breathing the water until the whole solution is over, but they are also being given medicine that continues to loosen up or clean the affected area. And I'm not taking Robitussin today, so it's kind of negative, but I'm just going to give you an explanation of how I do it. And this water, like I said this morning, I put iodine in it. So you take a diffuser, well clean. I don't know if you guys can see the vapor. You take the diffuser with water with iodine. Take a mask. Right? You put the mask on. And you breathe it for a little bit. And obviously, it starts like wetting up your sinuses, and if it's, obviously it does a antibacterial job on the wherever the fuck the vapor gets to. At the drawback of additional water, because remember, you need to have an additional medicine. It's almost the same thing, but you need to have. It's better when it's just medicine. It's better when the doctor does it, but as someone that trusts science, this is good. This is good for, how do you call it? Humidifying your lung system. When it's dry, right now it's cold as fuck out there, your nose gets dry, your sinuses get dry, your lungs might be stuck with some crud because people are smoking crack in the house. You never know what the fuck's happening inside the house in terms of the bacteria that you're breathing in. But the most important part is just not doing it every day. Because if you do it every day, if you're breathing some type of vapor with iodine every day, you're breathing it in terms of every day or whatever, then you're definitely going to start accumulating excess humidity in the bronchi and the lungs. If you do it maybe at a random, whenever you think that you might need a humidifier, it's technically the same thing as standing in front of a humidifier and breathing the vapors in. The only difference is that this vapor is medicated, or it's not medicated, but it has iodine, which is safer inside the body, and it's technically what doctors use to clean wounds in the body when they do operations and shit. So you take iodine, a couple drops, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, maybe just 3 drops, 2 drops is enough. And wherever the vapor goes, basically if you have a really strong vaporizer, adding the iodine to the air kills bacteria in the air. And at a second level, you're adding a fraction of 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 an iodized amount of iodine. Remember, using a couple drops in the water. And you're coating your sinuses and your lungs with a small amount of antibacterial quality. And it's useful because it's killing bacteria. This vapor kills bacteria. Right here. Kills it. Paired with salt. The only difference that the hospital the water that the hospital uses has like a saline iodine property. It's like a salty water, salty iodized water, and it's clear, obviously. And this one is clear too, because obviously when you put iodine in the water, it's gonna end up clean. But me as an ocean guy, I've had gallons of ocean water in my nose, and in my lungs. So this is nothing. This is basically actually good for me, as compared to taking a wipeout on like a 20-foot fucking wave, in which water from all places forcibly enters your throat and lungs as you're coming out of the water, or basically just spinning in the water so that water enters your nose. So this is nothing. This is actually good, antibacterial for me and my lungs too. And actually, that shit's really good. That's one of the things that my grandmother used to do when I was young. My grandmother, when I was young, used to tell me, go in the water and spin, so you could get that fucking sinus shit out of you. When I was sick, she'd take me to the beach when I was sick and told me to spin in the ocean backwards, so that the water entered my nose. I always had fins, like swimming fins or whatever. She told me just spin in the water so you stop having allergies and mucuses, so you stop being sick. And I used to go there with like 10, 12 years old and go in the water and spin. You're sitting there, arms extended like this, and you start spinning in the water like this, and the water would start rushing in your sinuses. You feel it. The water would start rushing in your sinuses, and ocean water would start cleaning the internal area of the sinuses. And this is exactly the same thing, but a little bit more specialized. And the ocean water is probably filthier than this. This is, if I were to boil this water right there, instead of using just regular water and a little bit of iodine, it would be even cleaner. I could take this water and make it even cleaner, using this technically distilled water or evaporated water, and then putting it with iodine, and then it would be even cleaner water. So this is safe. It's something that you do. Something that you do to get rid of shit. And remember, don't do it every day, because if you do it every day, you're putting a lot of pressure in your lungs, or you're putting excess water in your lungs that shouldn't be in there. So you get congestion. You feel that you may want to, not only you might want to cough and get rid of phlegm, obviously, because the effects of iodine in the water is to clean your lungs. But if you do too much, the body won't be able to get rid of the water as quick. So technically, you do it once. If you're gonna go do it like me, getting close to the dehumidifier with iodine, you do it maybe today and then forget about it, and then don't do it until you think that it's time to do it again. And then the little water and the iodine acts like a antibacterial vapor that cleans everything, wherever the fuck the shit goes, through your nose, down to your throat, inside deep in your bronchi. Depending on how small is the molecule, it's pretty small. That molecule is pretty small. So that molecule of vapor is going to go deep as fuck in your lungs, and you're going to remove the bullshit. If there's bacteria in there, if you have pneumonia, if you have COVID, if you've had COVID, this is how I battled that shit. And I'm fine. I'm not dead. This is how I started to battle that shit before COVID even got here. I think March I was doing this. Or before March. Like February of that year. January last year. It was that? Yeah, last year like that? Like January, February. I was already coating my nose with iodine just in case. Often too. Just to make sure that I don't catch it. If you have a grandpa that's dying of COVID or whatever, did the same thing. Put 3 drops, clean the dehumidifier, or clean the essential oil diffuser with alcohol and vinegar and water, and make sure that the vapor that is coming out is clean. And then put 3 drops of iodine in this shit. I put 8 in mine. I don't go fuck. I'm already used to it. Like I said, I have a lifetime of deep water and big fucking waves. So water in my nose is something that's just normal.
and put 3 drops of iodine in the shit and have him breathe it. Be like, hey, grandpa, breathe this shit. Dad, breathe this shit. Breathe the vapor, please. And the vapors would start just disinfecting and loosening up the gunk inside their nose and shit. I'm gonna do it a couple more times and turn it off and figure out what I'm gonna do for the day. I need breakfast. I haven't eaten breakfast yet. I had a Sprite. And that's it. Don't take too long with it. Just a little bit. Fight the urge to blow your nose. Remember, it's iodized water. And it tastes kind of salty. Fight the urge. It's going to taste kind of salty. A little water with iodine tastes kind of salty. Like I said, water, iodine, or salt. Sodium bromide iodine water. That's technically the waters that they give people in the hospital. Elderly people with pneumonia get that shit. It's just water with iodine. Water, salt, and iodine is what they give them. We call them thermal waters. That's the correct medical term for it. And that's right there. That's thermal water right there. That's the same concept. Just vaporized water, iodine, and salt in the nostril to loosen up gunk, to disinfect, to do a bunch of shit. But it's usually paired with, how do you call it? With expectorants, cough suppressants, and shit that deal with mucus, so that it attacks. So if there's any humidity coming in, that humidity is also turned into waste. And that's technically what that certain type of congestion medicines do. They remove the water from the lung system, or they focus on drying out the mucus or bronchial sput production in the lungs. So when elderly people get the vapors, they also mix in Robitussin, DM, and they mix a bunch of shit. And this house has a really old lady, 83, that has fucking, her lungs are probably purple right now. Because obviously, it's people that are old and don't have enough chest power to cough when they need to cough, if you understand what I mean. So if you have like someone who has old age, they're not taking care of themselves properly. Or it depends. If you see them coughing, if you see them cleaning their throat out, then they're working their lungs to get rid of the shit. But if you have an elderly person that doesn't like to cough or doesn't cough, you could tell, and they're old, their lungs are full of that bacteria. And It's like a filter. The lungs are like a filter, and the throat is where it starts. The throat is the, how do you call it, the filter. That's where shit starts getting dirty before it gets there. So if they're not cleaning their throat, or they're not forcibly looking to remove the shit from their windpipe, their lungs are going to be fucked, or they're going to say that their chest hurts, or they have lung pain, or that this and that hurts, and it's because they're not doing the correct motions of the potion. They're not forcibly looking to remove the shit from their lungs. So yeah, I think that's fine. All you get's like maybe a little, how do you call it, water droplets sort of collect at the nose and maybe get a little drip, but you don't need to breathe it that long. It's not something that's like a measured dose. It's just a little bit, and you get a deep disinfecting effect. A deep disinfecting, not like a little bit. You're talking about putting iodine. You're putting particleized or atomized iodine with water inside your lungs, which should fuck with it. Not fuck with it negatively, but it should be like, oh yeah, bacteria die. Same thing with your nose. Oh, bacteria here die. Oh, bacteria in the throat die. Yeah, I'm the type of person that if I get a sore throat, I gargle hydrogen peroxide. I'm special as fuck. I'm a specialist in that shit. If I got a problem, and I know for a fact that that I'm getting either sore throat or getting sick or this and that, I need to stay on the computer. I need to work every day. I need to do shit. So I gargle hydrogen peroxide. And if I don't gargle hydrogen peroxide and I feel the tingle, I gargle vinegar too. I'll mix it too, just like that. Vinegar first. If it's a really bad sore throat, you sort of feel it already broken, the area already not strong or ready for a shot of whiskey. You feel it tender. Put vinegar on the throat. If it's sore, you're gonna feel it tender, like it's tender. When you gargle a little bit, a little vinegar, just like, see, you're making the flesh stronger so that no bacteria gets in, and then cream of the crop or the cherry on top is taking a little hydrogen peroxide and right there, and you make sure the hydrogen peroxide coats everything on your throat. You spit it out, and that's how I deal with the seriousness of the complication within the pandemic. I've dealt with myself pretty well. Experimentation. You got to be comfortable with doing a lot of shit. Remember, you could die because of COVID. You could die off of flu. You just die. You stop breathing and you die. So you have to figure out how you start experimenting on yourself to not only survive COVID, but survive everything else. And I'm comfortable. I'm pretty confident in the things that I've already done to protect myself from that shit. I think I'd be safer outside because my thought process dealing with people is that people bring the shit here. If I ever gotten COVID, it wasn't because I caught it in the street. It wasn't because I'm the one that caught it because I'm a social guy and is sitting inside a bar or in a mall or in someone's job dealing with people. Nah. It's because people that live in this house come from the outside and try to kill me here. Like that. That's the bottom line. People that are in and out of the house, because I always stay in the house, I'm always in the house, be bringing deadly as fuck germs in this shit. Deadly, motherfucker. Not like regular flu. Regular virus is not deadly shit. It's deadly. They be bringing back death. And then you be catching death off them in the house. You have to take proactive measures. Clean the knob of your door. Clean the knob of your bathroom. Clean the knob that you rinse the water you wash your teeth in. And the knob. Clean the toilet. Don't even sit on the toilet seat. Clean the toilet each time you take a shit. Like that. That's how I am. Spray the shit, a little toilet paper, clean the toilet, and sit down. I'm really unique. I'm really clean. Really clean. In terms of other people. Here in the room, my room's probably full of dust in certain places. There's definitely, because remember, it's really crowded here, so there's definitely dust here. In the places where I can't see or where it's a little difficult to catch dust or whatever. It's really crowded. There's a lot of stuff in the room, so there's definitely dust. But I try to maintain the general area through vacuuming and watching clothes and sweeping and mopping sometimes. So I try. But the main area of attack is other people. The transmissible areas where they touched, where they are at the knob of the refrigerator, at the knob of the outside door. You know, if there are leftover foods, I focus on specific shit that have allowed me to thrive and be safe and not get sick and not deal with COVID pandemics and shit. Don't forget that tool that I gave you, that atomized, iodized water with a mask on, or at least just the iodized thing. Trust me. Do it. CIA shit. That's CIA. That's InfoWars. That's InfoWars information. The beginning of the pandemic. That's information that's passed on through other people. Not like taking cattle medicine, but rather things you could do. Turmeric. Certain specific shit that you know there's something to them that really smart Homo sapien would be like, yeah, I'm doing that right now. You know, I'm like that right now. I suggest you go to the store and you have a really bad, you have fucked up lung because of COVID. You have some recurring theme because people in the house are sick and you're trying to get clean and they continue fucking your life up. Go to the fucking pharmacy. Get yourself a jar of iodine. Put iodine in an eyedropper. You know, get rid of the Visine, old Visine, almost empty Visine bottle. Clean it real nice. Put iodine in the Visine bottle. And then put 3 drops of iodine in the water you are going to breathe in. And then that coating effect is going to disinfect the general area. And don't do it too much because you might get a chest congestion. You might put too much water in your lungs because your lungs could take gallons of water. This coming from a big wave surfer. Your lungs could take gallons of water and cough them all out. Gallons. Your throat pipe and lungs and your bronchi could take seawater in there until you get it out. Yeah. Until you cough that shit out. Your lungs could take seawater in there. And seawater come in and out that shit like it was nothing. So don't do too much. But breathe it in, and the iodide effects of it are going to kill some bacteria. Remember, drops. Not talking about like fucking, not like I did it. I'm a special guy. That water was orange when I started to mix it in the morning. It's clear now because the water, the iodide is dissolved in the water and it tastes salty. When you taste it, it's a salty water. Freaking, trust me, CIA shit. Fuck around, FBI. Real guys do this shit. Hospitals do it for elderly people. You could do it on your own home. All you need is the diffuser and the mask or something to breathe it in and out, and don't do it every day. Just a little bit. Just like whenever you think that you need something else to help you, medicines aren't helping you. You feel that, like I felt this morning. I woke up, I was like, this belly of mine is still messed up. I'm hungry. I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna do some iodine just to help the general area feel better, and the throat too. Remember, some before the windpipe divides here. So one could say that when you're breathing in iodine and water, some water with iodine would eventually just go down your esophagus a little bit, because the division between wind and air is like right here. So you're possibly adding some antibacterial power to the mouth of the stomach too, when you're breathing it through your nose and your mouth. And you shouldn't be afraid if your sputus comes out orange or whatever, because obviously it's fucking iodine. But you have nothing to worry about. I'm alive. You're not gonna die. And the only place where iodine is negative is in open flesh. Iodine inside the body creates sepsis, or the rotting of the flesh. There's a caution when doctors take care of people with needle and string, depending on the severity of the cut and the gash, they're advised to not use iodine. And it's all because iodine over time, if it's used in where there are red and white blood cells, not just an organ or whatever, not for like cleaning an organ, but if it enters the blood cell, or if there's bacteria, it generates pus, it generates waste matter, it breaks down. So sometimes when doctors are using iodine to clean your inside wounds, they don't use it because they rather just clean it with saline. They rather clean it with a saline solution than use iodine, based on the severity of the situation. In some instances, yes, but if it's too dirty, iodine is out of the question, because it would create too much bacterial growth. Not bacterial growth, but bacterial death, which is the main effects of killing bacteria with iodine. You technically kill it. And iodine, when you put iodine on the wound, you're disinfecting it. So that excess bacteria, if there's an open wound, iodine is bad. If there is not too much of a large open wound, they don't want to be sealing you up with iodine inside the flesh. So there's like a decision rationale when to use iodine, and it's primarily how deep is the cut, and if there will be any leftover bacterial death inside the person that may generate pus or whatever. I remember a lot of shit, kid you not. My brain is like a huge open book. That's why I'm a doctor, because I'm not a doctor in medicine, but a doctor in business. That's why I'm a doctor in business, because my brain works wonders in eliminating previous information. I am hungry as fuck. So yeah, I'm gonna shut down the stream, and I gotta go eat something that isn't a soda. All I've had for breakfast was a soda. So I don't know what to do today. It's gonna be another boring day. I might pass out. I might do something else. I don't know what to do. All I know is that I am hungry. I'm gonna shut down the stream. Thank you very much for watching another one of my daily occurrences. I'm gonna end up streaming every day. You guys, eventually in the future, if I ever, I'm gonna become a bum, and you're gonna watch me sleep outside like a bum. You're gonna once you guys, eventually one of these days, out there on the street, I'm gonna turn my shit and be like, this is where I crash. I'm gonna show where I am. It's where I'm crashing at. Gangster shit. Safe. It's a basement of a huge building. How I used to live. I used to live insane. My style of living is insane. Right now, I could probably be streaming inside a supermarket getting lunch after being in Starbucks all day. Just sit there with a massive sub right here, just like a massive fucking sub I built myself. Going to the supermarket and getting like a loaf of bread, getting to the deli, telling him, let me get half a pound of salami and half a pound of black turkey or peppercorn turkey or peppercorn ham or just pepper ham or pepper turkey, and put in that salami and pepper and shit, and then just butch big ass up for a couple dollars, and I'm sitting there eating it with you, just going places. That's how I like to do it. Eventually in my life, it might happen on my stream that I start developing a day by day of where I'm at today. Just like, where are you? I don't know. I'm enjoying the United States. I'm out here. West, from fucking Orlando down to Key West, outside every day. That freedom. That's how I used to be. Really free. I used to be in Miami Beach and in the center of fucking Kendall, Coral Gables, or even deeper, deeper into Miami, Florida. Just deep as hell. Taking trains and shit, going places in one day. I used to be crazy like that, just because I wanted to go somewhere there and then come back to the beach. Just living life out here on the beach. Today I would have a beach behind me or some shit like that. Like that. Talking to you with my freedom from my backpack, angle my shit to the side like this, using the battery from my iPad for a couple hours. And you see the Miami Beach right here on my back. This is where I'm going to sleep tonight. That's what I'm going to do tonight. I'm just going to chill here and likely pass out. Peace. Like that. The beach back there just like crashing. And then another stream walking place. So, I decided I'm not going to stay here anymore, and I'm in some other town, some other state. And I'm Tampa, headed to New Orleans now on foot. That's how I used to be. On foot. Public transportation. Eventually, it'll happen. I'm starting to develop the proficiency to communicate on camera and blog my life in some shape or form. Alright, so I'm going to shut down the stream. I need breakfast, so I got to get out of here. I already finished what I needed to do today. I saved the information. I think I can clean the computers now, because I like cleaning my computers. I like to clean computers, doing a couple commands, couple things, deleting temp files, doing all that crazy shit. And if I figure need that I need to turn on my streaming platform to do something, I'll do it again.